Afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the Jersey City Free Public Library College Readiness Team. Today, we are hosting Joy and Kelly from NPower, and they are going to be presenting on the tech programs that NPower has to offer. So take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction, Ashley. So as mentioned, my name is Joy Osahan. I am one of the social support managers here at NPower New Jersey, and I'm going to pass it over to my colleague and she will introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Bird, and I am the recruitment and admissions manager here at NPower. Glad to see you all this evening.
Yeah, so welcome, and we are going to be doing a presentation of NPower. We're going to talk about who we are and everything that we've been doing for the past several years. And so we are going to start with our video. So I'm going to play that for you all right now.
Each person's pathway to this stage today differs from one another.
I actually learned about the NPower program through a good friend of mine.
I was a veteran, a college graduate, an exceptionally good juggler, but it wasn't enough.
She asked me if I wanted to join this program with her. And I figured since technology plays a huge part in everyday life, why not be a part of something great?
I worked my last shift as a dental assistant on a Saturday, and the following Monday began learning IT fundamentals.
Without hesitation, I said, hell yeah, why not? And I'm glad I did so. NPower became family.
That's why I served, and that's why I study cybersecurity. But it's only because of my training through NPower that I can now get back to doing what I love, protecting.
It's so uplifting. I think especially when you're kind of thrown into an accelerated program for something that you may not have been primed for before.
I learned how to put together a computer, turn it on, and it actually worked. So thanks to NPower, the future is no longer uncertain. Thank you all.
Awesome. So that was our little spiel of who we are. And I am just going to stop sharing the screen and so that we can get back into technical difficulties for an IT prep program, but that's okay because we always make it work. All right, so I'm going to pass this baton over to Kelly, and she'll go in depth as far as who we are and what NPower is essentially all about. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Joy. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to utilize the chat box. So we're excited to be here. NPower's mission is to create pathways to prosperity by launching digital careers for military veterans and young adults from underserved communities. So myself and Joy are located in our Newark, New Jersey office, but we also work very closely with Jersey City and the Metro office, so also New York as well. But we're located in various different regions, such as Michigan, Texas, Missouri, Maryland, California, and Canada. In addition to who we are, we're a national nonprofit that serves as the market-by-market link between non-traditional jobs. So NPower is here and put in place to help launch these digital careers, right? So we have folks that are put in place to help assist with that career development path. Next slide, sorry. So what does NPower do? NPower offers free technology training programs that prepare our students to begin careers in the field of IT. So if you have little to no experience, NPower is a perfect opportunity and a free opportunity. So we like to highlight that word so people know that it's 100% free. And it's a training program that assists people in learning more about IT. Our students that participate in this program learn from a very foundational level, and the program that we have is our Tech Fundamental program. During the time while you are in our course, there's an opportunity for networking and security that is provided, mentorship for opportunities from business leaders. So it's an opportunity where not only you will go through the program and have an opportunity to obtain your certification, but there's also, what I love about this program is you have an opportunity to meet with business leaders. So employees that are actually in the companies that you may have an opportunity to work in. There's also an opportunity to have paid internships and career development. So we have a day set aside just for professional development, where if you are not too familiar with interview tips or interview skills, it's an opportunity where we have our placement manager that helps with certain things such as that. So it's not just the certification, you get it all, right? We're launching careers to that digital path. So you have an opportunity to work with several NPower staff that will help you get there. So students who successfully complete our Tech Fundamental program are eligible to participate in advanced training programs that we offer. And all programs, again, as mentioned, they are free. They're hands-on training. It's a virtual space, right, due to COVID. So our courses are through the virtual Zoom platform. And even after, before you, well, that's okay. So even after the program, you have an opportunity. We have various alumni that are still connected with NPower staff and help with ongoing career coaching and mentoring, as well as advanced certifications. So who do we serve? We serve young adults from the ages of 18 to 25 and veteran and military spouses of any age bracket. The two main requirements is you must have a high school diploma and authorized or legal to work in the US. So currently, and I'm excited because I'm the recruitment manager. So this slide is something that is really important to note, is that we are currently in recruitment process right now. The next class starts August 9th. And the application deadline for this upcoming cohort is July 30th. So you could see our future classes here, but if anybody is interested in participating in the upcoming program, there is still time to apply, and we'll get a little bit more into how to apply and where to apply later on. Next slide. So kind of, as I mentioned earlier, you're not only having an opportunity to obtain your certification, but you have several different opportunities. So here we have our NPower Tech Fundamental program, our wheel that we like to share. So it's a 23-week program. There's 2 different phases of the program that Joy will get into a little bit later. And there's professional development. So there's a 7-week paid internship placement, job placement opportunity. So that is essentially the second phase of the 23-week program. And then you have an opportunity to also learn personal development and have, as I mentioned earlier, an opportunity to have mentors and guest speakers that come in to speak with you all during your cohort. Next slide.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. So our program is broken down into 2 phases. Phase 1, which is 4 months, which is our instruction time, which is 16 weeks. So because of the state of our world with the pandemic, we are going into this cohort virtually. However, our virtual class will still be Monday through Friday. You can either sign up for our 9 to 1 class or our 2 to 6. As Kelly has mentioned, we do offer weekly, we offer weekly workshops that are focused on professional development. So we do understand that going into a career of IT isn't just about being certified. It's about making sure that all of our trainees are equipped to really excel and to really thrive in the workspace. And so we do have virtual guest lecturers and speakers that do come in and speak with our trainees, just to make sure that, of course, they're knowledgeable in the field of IT when it comes into the content, but when it comes into the professional development piece. So we have mock interview, different types of events, so on and so forth. This phase also is the part that most people are eager about, and that is the certification piece. So all of our trainees are eligible to become certified in A+ as well as ITF+, and they are free. Right. And I cannot stress this enough. You do not have to pay for any of these certifications at all. And also the phase 2 part, which is the exposure and the experience piece, also known as our placement part. It's really important for me to note that 80% of our trainees are placed in a paid placement. And the paid placement can be an internship, it can be a job, or it can be a paid apprenticeship program within 6 months of graduating from our program. And this is an opportunity as well. And I forgot to note this, that even some of our trainees have they have direct hire. So they also have an opportunity to just get placed into a job. And so to the right of the screen, we have our staff support breakdown. And so it's important to note that our social support managers, I am one of our social support, we support our trainees from the beginning of the program, literally to the end. So anything that our trainees will need, whether it's anything dealing with food insecurities, housing, if it's mental health, even if it's just a safe space just to vent, every trainee will have a social support manager that they are mandated to meet and speak with periodically every month, just to be sure that everything is okay, everything is going well. So your SSM, known as the social support managers, are your advocates. We also have our internship placement managers and our career placement managers that are a part of our placement team. They work very diligently and extremely hard to make sure that pretty much all of our trainees are getting placed in a paid placement. And they are very much aware of the tech industry. They are very aware of the tech industry and pretty much who's hiring and who's not. And they work really, really closely with all of our trainees just to make sure that everyone is equipped and ready to thrive in the workspace. And we also have our alumni piece that was also mentioned earlier. So once you're part of NPower, you're literally stuck with us for life. And so what that means is once you graduate from our program, as an alumni, you still have opportunities to continue networking. We have the various types of networking events. If you want to continue with getting certified, we have other opportunities as such. But also, like, you might be working and you might want to change your actual job. You still have access to the staff, and as Kelly had mentioned, staff will continue to coach all of our trainees, well, not the trainees, but all of our alumni, just to be sure that they're continuously growing in this field. And so here are some of the skills you will be learning if you choose to apply to NPower. And so some of the things which is extremely popular now is cloud computing, hardware, software, installation and troubleshooting, identifying access management. All of these skills that is listed ultimately helps prep all of our trainees when it comes down to them getting certified. And I do also want to note that the roles we essentially prepare our trainees for is these that are listed above. And so it is going into anyone who's interested in going into support, going into being a generalist. If you're interested in going into any type of administration, we assist and we actually prep all of our trainees for that. And of course, more. And so it's also important to note that the average entry level of salary, if you are starting in IT, is about $40,000. And the average salary is a abundance of different types of salaries. So we have some trainees whose placement, they're starting work and they're making $30K. And we have some trainees who are making $80K, $90K, but it all depends on the actual industries and like the actual job. However, this is just the starting. And so if you're not aware that the field of IT is drastically growing and there's a huge need for it. And since pretty much there's a huge need for it, it definitely means that there will be more income. And so the goal is to really make sure that all of our trainees do not leave the same, especially as it pertains to their salary. And so I also just want to briefly note that we do have an amazing initiatives with City, which is our 40 by 22 initiative. So we talked a lot about the field of IT growing, but there is a need for women of color in tech. And so we have this amazing initiative with City, which is really to increase the amount of women of color in the field of IT. And so women between the ages of 18 to 25 who are part of our tech fundamental program, the goal is to increase the actual placement of women of color by 40% by the year 2022. And so we have an amazing partnership with City Foundation. And of course, because of COVID, but pre-COVID, we had different types of events that was specifically geared towards women of color. There was events, there was coaching, there was even employment opportunities presented. So this is an initiative that we are continuously working on, and we're trying to reach our goal. We're almost there. It's pretty exciting. It's exciting in the field of technology. I'm going to pass it over to Kelly.
Awesome. So the next couple of slides, I'm going to share some results and then show you how you can apply to the program. So all this great information, right? All this great information of how you can start and launch your technical career, but somebody may be wondering, like, what are the results of the program? So we always like to share this. As mentioned, we are recruiting folks that are young adults ages 18 to 25 and veteran spouse of any age. So we have a diverse pipeline of talent, 31% of women, 76% of Black and Latina, and we also have 40% of veterans that are in our program. Out of the percentage, we have 40% of students who are unemployed at the time of enrollment. So folks are coming into our program, they don't have a job, they don't have a job opportunity, and they're leaving our program with more information about IT and leaving the program with an opportunity to be placed in full-time employment, internship, etc. 80% of NPower students get jobs or continue their education after the program, and 80% of students who enroll in the program graduate. So that's a good percentage, right? Majority of our students that come into the program actually finish the program, and 194% average salary. So going back to what Joy just mentioned, their average salary increased for graduates nationwide. So it's amazing results. Folks that enter the program, literally what I love about this is you are really transforming lives. People are coming in with little to no education in IT and really having 23 weeks of learning more about IT, connecting with various different employees that are currently in the field, and leaving out of the program, more educated and with a potential job opportunity and networking, right? So that's a really big thing. So you have an opportunity to network with various different folks in the IT space. Next slide, please. So all this great information, but how do you apply? So in the chat box, I'm just going to drop the link. If anyone is eager to apply now, like I mentioned, we're in recruitment season now. So the link to apply is in the chat box, but it's very simple. So if you shopped on Amazon or you've been onto any online platform, you just go to the link, you click apply, you fill out your information, and then it's done, and it will be sent out. Your application is sent over to our admissions team immediately. So you fill out the application, you go to that link, and then there would be an email that is kicked off to us, and we're immediately getting people through the program if you qualify. So again, the qualifications, if you're a young adult between 18 and 25 and a veteran or veteran spouse of any age. And also I will drop it in the chat a little bit later, but you can see on here where my email is if you have any additional questions. Next slide, please. So once you applied, what happens? We always like to be transparent with folks. So you send in your application in the interview process. What does that look like? So first you will have a phone screen. So it's about a 15-minute phone screen where you have an opportunity to meet with our student recruiter. And it's great because she has been through the program. She's been through the program. You have an opportunity if you want to ask questions from her perspective as a student, and now she's placed in a job opportunity. So there's 15 minutes to kind of just see, is it a good fit? Do you still interested in the program? After that, you have a video interview. So the phone screen is without video. And then you have a video interview with myself, potentially Joy, or one of our other social support managers. That meeting is a little bit longer. It's about an hour to an hour and a half. And it's an opportunity where you have your first video interview with the two of us. So we get an understanding of your background in IT, what you like about the program, tell you a little bit more about NPower, and kind of dive into any questions that you may have. And then you would meet with myself as the recruitment admissions manager, and then you would have a conversation with Joy to talk about, right? We mentioned the social support that's needed. So she'll kind of go through some stuff with you and ask some questions and answer any questions that you may have. Following that, so sometimes it could be the same day. And sometimes it's like a day after or within the same week, but after that, you will have a group technical assessment to get an understanding of what do you actually know about IT. So you would have that assessment. And then after all of that is done and you had an opportunity to meet with everyone, get any questions out the way, let us understand what you know about IT, that is when you get a admissions decision. So it's a streamlined process. So if you have any, if you're interested in the program, again, the link is in there. If you need some time to think, I believe we may be sending out the link after this. But one thing we would always say is check your emails. Sometimes it does happen. The email will go into your spam. So we always just say to check your spam folder. Oftentimes we put NPower decision right in the subject field. So just pay attention to that. If you haven't heard from us, it's probably in your spam, and just to check that. Next slide, please. Awesome. So does anybody have any questions? Feel free to take yourself off mute if you want to drop them in the chat box.
Definitely drop your questions in the chat box. We'll read them out to the audience. If you're not comfortable just unmuting yourself.
And do not be shy. There is no such thing as a dumb question. I do want to note, because we actually mentioned this previously, but I do want to just note that you do not have to have any IT experience, and we mean it. So I know, I definitely know that there are programs that actually say it, and then they expect you to have experience. You do not. In our most recent cohort that had just graduated, we had a trainee. She did not have any experience in IT. She actually came from a cosmetology background. And one of the things she was very fearful of was not having any type of knowledge. But she was dedicated, very resilient, and was really hungry and curious to go into the field. And as a result, she's working full-time in a cybersecurity company in New York. So when we say you do not need to have any experience, we absolutely mean it. I do see a question. Oh.
Yep, there's a question in the chat. Do you offer services to those over the age of 25?
Unfortunately, we do not. The only time we offer services for anyone who's over the age of 25 would be if they are if they are a veteran or a military spouse. So unfortunately, we only cater to those 18 to 25.
Any other questions? Now is the time. Yep, so the next question is, what about those living outside of the state? I work with the youth in New York City.
That's a great question. So Joy and I are actually, we're in the New Jersey office, but we do have various different regions throughout the US. And so we do have a program in New York, Harlem, and Brooklyn. Joy, yes, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm pretty new, so forgive me for that. But Harlem and Brooklyn, we do have offices in there where folks can join that are interested in New York City. No problem.
I also want to note if you are working with a veteran or a veteran spouse that is based in New York, they are eligible for our program in New Jersey. But for when it comes to the youth, they would have to stay within the New York area.
Any other questions?